Hi friends, welcome back to day 2 of my turkey broth canning project. So today is part 2 where we're going to take the broth that we already made and get it into our Presto canner so that we can have some shelf stable turkey broth. Now just a reminder, you can do the same thing with chicken bones. So I just had a beautiful turkey that I cooked up for my family and that is what we have to work with. But process is exactly the same if you are working with chicken. So I've got my Presto canner out here. I've still got my crock pot going because I had so many bones from the turkey that I'm doing round 2. So that's cooking up today. But in the meantime, you and I are going to get to our Presto canner. So let's get working. So I'm going to take these jars and fill them halfway with water, preferably hot water. Place them in our canner.
So once you get all of your jars all filled up, and by filled up I mean halfway, that's just so that they don't bounce around or bobble in there while they get warm. You're going to want to fill up the main canister parts to the max fill line. So I'm doing that right now and we'll be all set to get started. For this part, I just make sure that the lid is on tight because we want it to warm as quickly as possible. And you don't have to lock it, but I did. And we're going to take the regulator part off like this and press the next button. In the next button, it will ask us how many minutes we want to process for. So with chicken and turkey broth, it's traditionally 20 minutes. I'm doing 25 here just to be on the safe side. So now it wants us to fill our jars. We already did that step, so we're moving on to the next step, which is warming. When it's ready, the canner will beep at us and we can get started.
Okay, our jars are warmed, so I'm just going to take one at a time because we want to keep them as warm as possible in the meantime. And empty out that water. And here I have my broth. Now I'm working with all warm things, so I heated up my broth even though I put it in the refrigerator last night, overnight. So now this is nice and warm, our jars are nice and warm, and our canner is nice and warm. If you don't do that, you might get some breakage on your glass, and that is not good. So now we're going to take our broth, and fill up these jars. Look at that beautiful golden color. We're going to leave 1-inch headspace. So now we have our vinegar and a clean paper towel. I'm going around the rim of our jar and I am making sure that I wipe nice and clean. We don't want any residue on the edges of our jar. If we do that, we could have a failed seal and that would be super sad. So we have our lid. Right on. I'm going to screw this on to finger tight. My jar is really, really hot. Okay, and this guy can go right back in. So there we have it. We've got all of our cans in and we are going to get this thing started. You can see how easy the Presto canner is, and it really takes a lot of the guesswork out of the process. And it just makes you feel nice and confident in what you're doing. All the things are preset in it, so all you have to do is select the time and let it do its thing.
So now we've got this all filled up. It says fill jars there. We did that part. So now we're gonna just lock up the top. We've got to move this over to the locked position. My regulator is still off. And then we have this green latch that we wanna make sure is all the way down and straight in line with the handle. And then we're gonna advance to the next button here. And now it says vent. So it's gonna create its own pressure system in there and get the pressure and the heat up to what it needs to be able to can this safely for us. It takes just a couple minutes to get up to that point, and then it'll tell us to put the regulator on. So you want to be careful with this and just make sure you get it on and leave it straight to the front, just like that. And then we advance to the next section, which now counts down for our canning. And there's nothing left for us to do but wait. So again, that pressure is still building inside of our machine here, and you'll see shortly that the little metal pin will pop up. And once that is popped up, we know it is completely ready to go and it will start canning for us. There is nothing you need to do for this part. It does it all on its own. I'm just showing you that that little pin comes up just like that. So now those 25 minutes have gone by and it is in the cooling process. And this can take quite some time. It is going to just cool itself down slowly until we get to the countdown. So now you can see we are at the 10-minute countdown and the pin at the top has dropped, which means we are able to open up the green latch and see what we got inside. It is super important to let it cool down and get to this process on its own. Otherwise, you could have some siphoning, which means some of the liquid in your cans can be sucked out, and that is not a good thing. So now we can remove all of our jars from the pressure canner and just let them sit here the same as you would with a water bath. You want them to cool, have their own space, and just kind of come to room temperature on their own. I usually let them sit for 24 hours before I write on the top of the can and get them all put away.
Well, it is as easy as that, my friends. And just like that, we have shelf-stable chicken stock or turkey stock, whichever one you choose. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's like a honey golden color. There's so many nutrients packed in this, and it's perfect. I love to make broth like this because I can gift it to friends that are sick, especially when the mom of the household gets sick. A lot of times there's no dinner, or it's an unhealthy dinner because dads pick up fast food for the night or whatever. So this is a really nourishing and lovely gift to give somebody who isn't feeling well. I gift them to family members when I hear they're not feeling well, and all of a sudden you can make a really quick chicken noodle soup or even a turkey tortilla soup. Really, really delicious, and like I said, really nutritious too. I hope this video helped you. I hope that it gave you a little bit more confidence in the canning area of your life. It is a really important skill. It's a super important task, and as the mom of this household, I am very proud that this is something that I've taught myself and learned over the years. It's not something I grew up doing. My mom did not can, neither did my grandma. Maybe just like little fruit jellies and things like that, but never anything like shelf-stable like meat or bone broth or anything like that. And this stuff is just so crucial to being self-sufficient. So it's just an awesome task, and it really makes me happy that we can do this together. So I hope you learned something, and I hope you had a good time. I will talk to you soon, friends. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time on Sheena's Homestead. Bye. Hey, wait, before you go, check out some of my other videos and learn how to can like a pro.